the purpose of ATG Squat School is more weight on the bar, but even less pain in the process. And there's 3 keys that make this work. To be clear, before we even squat, we warm up. That becomes much more personal. I use some sort of sledding, something for the ground up, and something for mobility. Those are the 3 main things we do in ATG. For your gym, we can help you customize that. In the app, we use a toolbox because it's going to vary based on the equipment you have access to. And you can do more warm-up, you can do less warm-up. So we'll make that with a toolbox, work with you on the ideal warm-up for you, and then get into the actual workout. Now Fernando's going to coach us through it. We started doing these classes for gyms that reach out and want to use ATG. Squat class is one of the requested ones. How you warm up for that is going to vary. So in here, I like to use this. Some of our guys like to use a sled. There's also in ATG, a common way of warming up is from the ground up. So you can start in, whether a machine or whether against the wall. You can have a class warming up against the wall with 0 tools, like tibialis raises, gradually getting blood flow. And then the third part just being mobility. We have extensive videos on mobility. So what we've done on the app is we've set up those 3 categories as a toolbox: sledding, ground up, mobility. Then we can work with you for your class to get the right thing based on your equipment and your clientele. Now, Fernando's going to coach Derek and I through the first real step of the squat class.
Good. Go ahead and switch.
I'm going to start in right. I'm going through the class myself today, so this is my actual.
As you guys see here, the key with this exercise is how far that knee goes over the toe. So we're going to want to use a slant. Here we're using the ATG Buddy, okay, to really maximize knee over the toe. You're going to be stretching out the fascia, strengthening the tendons, and emphasizing the VMO, okay, the teardrop muscle. Again, another key here is chest is back, getting a major stretch and strengthening through length that hip flexor, okay? You can use the height. As you see, we have set up here different heights depending on your flexibility, okay? And as you do this exercise, you will increase your flexibility while you're increasing your strength, bulletproofing your knees, which will allow you to then get into the next exercise, the squats, with more balance and being primed and kind of ready to attack that.
4 sets, 5 reps, 3-second pause at the bottom of each rep. In CrossFit gyms, you tend to have bumper plates.
Yep.
These are super cheap to add, these rubber wedges. So a CrossFit gym is almost a perfect place to integrate an ATG split squat. You even have PVC pipes to balance. For example, my mom at home uses a stairwell. So you have the same gradual increase of elevation and assistance that you could have in a CrossFit gym with bumper plates and poles. Now I'm going to keep going through my sets. I started body weight.
First set.
Yep. First set down. Now I'll jump in.
And something Derek was talking about, and go ahead and talk about how for longevity, how this is, how you treat this exercise.
Derek's 45 years old, for those who don't know, and he is an absolute menace on the basketball court. I've never seen anything like it in a team sport for someone 45 years old. Yeah. Basketball, soccer, football, I've never seen anyone move like that at 45 years old. So what's your thought process going through squat school and split squats?
Yeah, so for me, thanks for that, Ben. I appreciate you, man.
Just
I pay you after we leave.
Hey, we won our game. We were on the same team on Sunday. Gave some young boys some buckets. We have the most athletic weekly basketball game in the world. And it's crazy to have a 45-year-old out there giving buckets to guys with 45-plus inch verticals.
I appreciate it, man. It's fun. But as far as split squats, man, this has really been the single most important exercise for me to balance my hips out. Like, I got a slightly imbalance. So instead of just squatting, which kind of furthers that imbalance a lot of times, split squats has really allowed me to kind of like really open my hips up and really give me a lot of mobility and for me to play basketball on the weekends with the guys and still feel young and athletic. So you can speak maybe to the science of that.
Sure.
But for me, I just found that over time, this has been the most important exercise for me as far as a squat form or a squat technique. Instead of just squatting, split squats has allowed me to get full knee bend, powering this VMO through my glutes and open my hips up, which is so important, man, for longevity, you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
it's done more for me than any other exercise. I wanted to be able to squat full range of motion. As the split squat improved, now like squatting feels amazing, but it didn't feel that way from squatting. It felt that way from split squatting.
Yeah.
And in this workout, we even show you how the squatting can make you feel even better. But I think for Derek and I, we consider split squat as our cheat code for life.
Yes.
And then I think of the squat as a booster.
Correct.
So if I have that base, then my squat goes up even more. Now it just gets even easier to jump if it's built on that base. But this is the split squat is why 10 years competing hard on the court, never a knee setback. The sledding and stuff got me off the painkillers. The split squat kept me off and bulletproofed that shit.
Yeah,
Nice.
I agree, man. Split squat is, I've been able to play at this level, man, for the past 10, 20 years because of the split squats, you know, and the knee flexion, which we'll talk about here in a little bit.
And for me and for people who do squat heavy, whether it's for sport, for desire, just because you want to, whatever it may be, I grew up that way. I grew up playing football. I needed to squat heavy. It helps me with my power, my exposure, and my start. But split squats was the cheat code, was the secret weapon that allowed me to keep my knee and my body, my hips healthy while keeping my squat number heavy, okay? So a lot of people will fall down that rabbit hole of squatting heavy. They create an imbalance, and that imbalance gets worse and worse. They get injured. They can't figure out what to do to break through the plateaus, or they just keep going through this cycle of injury, recovery, get back to it, get back to their max weight, get injured again, and it's just like this vicious circle. So this is a great way to help fix those imbalances and a plateau buster.
Yeah, I think the imbalance is a big thing, man. I never really knew the importance of split squats. So once I started doing that, helped me with my regular squat as well,
Exactly.
you know?
It transitions over both.
So yeah.
It's a real workout too.
You want a three?
This is a way of doing
3 second
mobility.
pause.
3 second pause.
5 reps, 3 second pause.
It's a way of doing mobility that just makes you athletic, stronger.
That's another point. Is this is not master the form, particularly if you're interested in like super longevity. Like you have to master the form. Even if you're a CrossFitter or an athlete, this exercise is about mastering form. With that said, you can get strong. You can go heavy as long as that form is perfect.
Yeah, I'll show one too, and what the mindset is, because a big mistake people make is they try to go heavier on this, and you see they shorten their range.
Yes.
That means you are actually too weak.
Yes.
So in this particular one, the deeper you can get, the more unique strength adaptation you can make. So if I'll put this to like a side angle so you can see to the camera. You saw my warm-up set, second set, third set. So I'm on my fourth set here. So I'll grab.
And I think we got
total
B-roll of me doing.
In total, this is about 3/4 of my body weight. So these are 66 each hand. But when I do this, I'm not going to get less range.
Nice.
I'm embracing it. Driving.
Beautiful.
So now,
Strong,
was
bro.
that strength? Was that mobility? That was the freaking cheat code.
Yeah.
Is marrying those two. Because as you get older, you lose mobility,
That's unreal,
but
bro.
you get stronger. So to really bulletproof the body is not to be weak or stiff. It's to be strong and flexible. And now that allows me to extract a ton from this. So when I do squat, it feels great.
Correct.
I'm able to get results from it without a setback.
One more thing, just on form, since we got you here, is, again,
That's sick, bro.
when you go heavy, the only thing I've seen people go wrong with going heavy is that they will shift the hips again for that weight. You're changing the integrity of the exercise, okay? So if you treat this as a bulletproofing exercise, you got a bright future. If you start to manipulate it just for the weight, you're not going to get much out of it. So like Ben just showed, he pushed straight up like an escalator. It's a slightly forward and down movement, and it's reversed. You do not shift the hip out and back. You don't.
That would mean you didn't actually lift the load.
Correct. You don't push back and then up. Like it's a smooth down, forward, and then reverse.
There's no ego in this. This would be a once a week class that we suggest for a CrossFitter or someone who's trying to increase their squat. This is not the class that you increase the squat. This is the class that increases your squat for then your actual more competition style of squatting.
Correct.
So outstanding work here.
Beautiful form.
Part one of the, I'm going to count that single rep as my fourth set. I'm a self-regulator. I don't felt great. I'm ready to squat now.
Let's go.
So now we're going to look at parts 2 and 3 that make this unique. You can coach me right into the first set, because this is actually a good question to look at these live tips, which is, for me, I feel totally comfortable. Just take off one of these.
Yeah.
This is about the weight that I was just split squatting. So I actually feel comfortable jumping into the weight that I was just split squatting.
Right.
But if you're split squatting just body weight,
Warm up.
come squat body. My mom uses the slant board at home. This is a great workout for longevity. Why don't you describe what's happening while I do this first set?
Yeah. So,
And I won't talk into the microphone. It's going to be right there.
it'll be fine. So, what we're doing here, what he's going to be doing here is slow eccentrics, okay? This allows him to really feel the muscle fibers working. It allows him to correct any imbalances that he may feel on the way down. It's increasing his break strength, particularly for CrossFitters and explosive athletes. We work on so much the explosion, but we can't handle the force. We don't have the brakes for it. This movement right here is a cheat code to really increase the break strength in your legs, which then gives you the foundation to express even more power in your Olympic lifts, all right?
Why don't we have Derek go body weight and do the 2 reps?
Yes.
I did 1 front, 1 back. It's a little bit harder to squat front. Like, you can do a little bit more weight on back. So if you start with front, you probably can match that on the back.
Yes.
I count by short breaths.
Yeah.
That's how I get
We're
to 10.
going for about 10 seconds and a 2-second pause. Again, we're taking out all momentum. The explosion is out of there. It's all about that strength and being able to contract the muscle fibers out.
And if you're running a class on this session, what I just did would be the advanced style, which is 1 rep front, 1 rep back. You could go 2 reps front, 2 rep back to build a base for someone
I
new to it.
always recommend
You start
starting.
body weight.
Yes.
Like, this would be powerful stuff for longevity.
Nice.
So you're going to have him do 4 reps total like this? So Derek's going to do 4 reps, 10 seconds down each rep.
If you're not holding weight, a bar, you just go 4 reps. Once you get to a bar, you start with 2 reps front squat, which is being more upright. It's going to hit a little more quad, a little more core, because you have to stabilize all that weight, upper back, everything. Then once that's a little fatigued due to the front squat, you now shift it to the back, and you get 2 more reps, okay? Once you've progressed on that, increased your strength, really got that under control, then you go to singles, both front and back.
You've already seen why I get overly passionate in videos, is because for me, the same exact body that needed painkillers, surgeries to try to play a sport like basketball, which is very intense on the knees. With just the data in this video, you can see why it's almost, it's so easy now the rest of my life to have insane knee protection relative to the sport. You've seen it just in this video. So I get super fired up. It's that simple. You'll notice I won't have necessarily impressive weights on just about anything, but it's because I'm using it. So I can be totally bulletproof on the court. And for me, okay, I started out wherever you're starting, don't judge yourself against others. Judge yourself where you started. And holy cow, if I come far on my split squat, I had to start elevated and assisted. So I started not even flat ground, not even my own body. So think about that level of knee ability, this much knee ability. So now I have this much knee ability. All of a sudden, same sport is just a joy to play. The knees feel incredible. The knees are an advantage now with the exact same genetics, no different supplements, no different treatments whatsoever, just training the long-term input. So
and
here,
remember,
I'll go on my next one now.
This is not your competition. This is school. This is where you're building your foundation to then tap in for your max expression of strength in a competition, in a power lift, in an Olympic lift, whatever it may be. Beautiful. He gets right into it. You could take 10 to 15 seconds between each rep to muster full strength. Nice, Ben. Hold it here. Yeah. Beautiful. The hardest part, obviously, on this eccentric, the negative, whatever you want to call it, is going to be about that mid, and as you get below that. Don't go 8 seconds here and then go 2 and drop, okay? It's 10 seconds evenly distributed throughout the entire motion.
Oh, I messed up the workout, but it doesn't matter because here we are now.
Knees forward, knees forward. Yeah.
Between each set of squats, we're going to work the opposite side of the squat. And what we're looking at here is ways for a gym setting. Like, we love hamstring curl machines. It's unrealistic that your local CrossFit gym that's putting in ATG classes is just going to buy a fleet of hamstring curl
I also might
machines.
like this better.
Pop on here. I'll
Yeah.
go here. Let's get a side
I
angle
might
for
like
us.
this better even than a leg lying.
We actually we actually prefer this over a full hamstring curl machine. It's so easy to add. Sorenex makes
This is
this,
amazing.
the racks, the Nordic benches. So I'm going to get a set of 5 on the Nordic. He's going to get a set of 10 to 15
Right.
on hamstring curl. That's your 2 options here.
It's also incredibly complimenting if you can get both of
Yeah.
these.
Look, where is that? So this is the easy part. That's the hard part. Here's the opposite. This is the easy part. Boom. This is the hard part.
So together, you're working both ends of what we call the strength curve, okay? Like he mentioned, harder at the stretch. Here it's harder at the flex.
This is amazing with super simple, cheap, in terms of gym equipment, this stuff is dirt cheap. And you can get world-class hamstrings. Between the 2 of these, you have the eccentric strength. You have the concentric contracting strength there. You have balance between sides. So you're actually doing a set of your squat and a set here. This is the end of the workout. 4 sets on the squat, 4 sets on the knee flexion. I looked at a lot of CrossFit gym programming, and in many cases, the whole year goes by with no training behind the knee and a very high amount of people having knee surgeries. So my personal passion for CrossFit is how can I help CrossFit slash knee surgery statistics. This workout, I think, would cut them at least in half, if not more, just by the simple, cheap tools in this session.
Yep. Then we go back and forth. You could take your break. Ben goes fast.
Well,
he's in shape.
But we go more. Derek and I is kind of like,
It's basketball conditioning. Yeah.
we're 4th quarter game. I'm busted. Like, it's just so.
Obviously, the heavier you
We
go,
don't time our
Yeah,
like
the
for
heavier, like
Fernando,
I will take a couple minutes between, each. So
I wouldn't be able to handle that weight. If I was now trying to transition maybe to a different sport,
Sure.
I probably should slow down and go more weight.
yeah, so it does depend on
Yeah.
your sport. It depends on what your goal is,
Yeah.
how much weight you're using. And we're gonna count it out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Beautiful. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah.
It's actually a good point. The biggest thing I notice on this is people get to 10 about here and then drop there.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's your sport. Your sport is the skill of bouncing out of our squat. Our sport is the skill of bouncing to the rim. The training, we're missing adaptation if we don't control from here down. There's actually more to gain there.
Yes.
Yet that's the most neglected part. I dare you to notice someone in gym control that part of a squat. Have you ever seen that in the gym? Thousands of squats. Have you ever seen someone control the bottom quarter of a squat?
Quarter. Yeah.
Probably never seen it. But actually, as you approach the bottom of a squat, it becomes more preferentially vastus medialis. You can't isolate it exclusive to the rest of the quads. The research shows it does emphasize.
Right.
So it's almost exclusively VMO. The deeper you are, the more VMO. The more proportionately you have VMO relative to the rest of the quads, the less knee pain. So, boom, it's a route. It's actually backed fully by science.
Yep.
Even the biggest research paper ever on full range of motion of the knee, analyzing 162 research papers, found contrary to common concern, actually full range of motion leads to more preservation of the knee, less injuries, more athletic potential. But without the split squat, I would have been someone saying, screw full squats, they're awful, blah, blah, blah. I hated full squats. So it's the split squat, and it's the control, and it's the knee flexion that now I'm like, oh, I get it. Maybe it's not perfect, but absolutely it's scientific that you can create more protection for the knee.
Yeah, and so for those who are watching this, you can see how the split squat before this really primes and sets you up to get deeper, to be really activating all the muscles. You're working your adductors, your hips. So now when you go heavy here, you're really tapping into new fibers, honestly.
So I got 15, so I would actually start to add a little bit of weight. 10 to 15 here. So if you're not doing 10, let's lighten up a bit.
Yeah.
If 15 is not challenging, let's add a little bit more weight. Whereas the Nordic, 5 reps feels like an eternity. It's very high force.
Talking about knee protection, how about the VMO with knee tracking and all that? I like to think of knee flexion as somebody's second ACL, okay? The stronger you are in the insertion and the tendons behind your knee, it literally acts as a brake and as a security for your
it acts
joint.
in the angle
It
that your
prevents
ACL,
from
the
ACL
ligament, which is what's like holds these top thigh bones to the lower bones, the ligament. Yes, it act like directly. Let's watch Fernando. We'll put him on the spot, and let's watch. I'm going to turn this sideways to the camera here, and
I see so many.
And I'm going to watch the eccentric, and so get right here, and we're going to watch.
And I see so many speed and power athletes tear their ACLs. I guarantee you, their knee flexion.
This right here
is not on
increase that strength. You decrease the chance of your knee being literally pried apart. This is a math equation. All the knee stuff we do, all the ATG exercises, they're a math equation. They don't make you exempt from injury because just as the stronger you get in that squat, let's say, or split squat, the more you could protect against landing. But if you put me on a skyscraper, I'm dead, literally dead. Put me maybe 5 stories, I'd probably break my legs. But I could probably jump off a 1-story building now and be totally fine, which might have shattered, might have torn my knees open 10 years ago. So we're just putting math. We're earning our way with common sense and work to being more protected.
Yeah, the more power you have output, the stronger your brakes have to be. Simple. So for those who run really fast, who have strong Olympic lifts, squats, you need to make sure your knee flexion, your brakes are on par to prevent injury.
Well, I got one more set. I got nothing left to say. So anything you guys want to finish out with, but it's good. We showed them we showed you the actual session. So I'm going to finish up.
That is the most important for just like feeling superhuman sport, like feeling like people do certain things at my age. I would think about some of my brothers, I'm playing with records. Are vital for longevity. I just wanted to say that from experience, split squat and the Nordic are two of the key components that help me play.
Ooh. Man, damn you, Squat School. And look, we got all these MFers are about to go through Squat School here. Fernando's going to coach them all up. And all these guys have their own story. Quinn had the lowest recorded vertical in ATG history. 17 inches. His sister, who was like 12 and like doesn't even exercise, came in and tested 19 inches.
Nice.
He also ran on the track. He ran a 5.65 40-yard dash. Alyssa ran a 5.64. We're talking about like an 18-year-old athlete.
Yeah.
Knee surgeries. Now, oh my God, he's like dunking like a mofo on the court. Super quick. So everyone's got their own story in here, and now they're all about to get coached through it. So
they're all about to
I hope you enjoy. Yeah, I hope you enjoy running this class. We can help you through it. The goal is to make your gym more profitable by working with us to deliver more classes to more people. Our next video is actually going to be Derek taking us through a sled class.
Nice.
So a lot of CrossFit gyms and gyms have sleds now. So we already have the mobility class on the app. Now we're adding Squat School. The next one to add is going to be sled class. So we'll see you then. Thanks for your support.
Stay tuned.